Hello, this is Ryan for Let's Roleplay channel news for February 19th, 2022. Yeah, so I have been very, very ill in the past month. I don't know if you'll be able to really see it with how I behave, but that's why I've not published a video in about 3 weeks. I'm still quite ill, and so I'll try to make this short, but I'd like to get to covering the polls since I think it was November 28th was the last time I did polls, so I found the last poll. And now they've allowed me to vote in there. They didn't allow me to vote in that. I think when I came back to my channel in 2020, I was able to vote in my own polls, but 2021, for some reason, it was removed. So, but now I'm able to vote, and I'll vote with you guys as I go through them because I haven't voted on any of them. All right, so I'm not sure how well I'll be doing in this video. As normal, I write out a lot of things, but this case, it's more of like a crutch to help me get through. So I get easily tired and I cannot exactly think too clearly. Yes, I know, my curse. I get sick a lot. For 2 weeks I wasn't even able to take care of my own kids. This is going back 3 weeks ago or more. I think Sunday would be 3? Is the 19th today? Yeah, I think, is it 3 weeks? No, 4 weeks. Okay, sorry. 4 weeks when I originally got sick. But anyways, so for what I have, for the first 2 weeks I wasn't even able to take care of my own kids due to being so ill. This week is going Mondays, today's Saturday, is the first week that I was able to actually take care of them. Wake them up, get them ready, feed them in the morning, take them to school, pick them up from school and take care of them afterwards. So I am improving, though slowly. So what's wrong with me? It's inflammation of the inner ears, where it's destroyed my balance. I'm quite, well, unobservant. Like, I don't notice everything going on around me. Like this morning I burnt something, melted it to be more correct, when I was cooking breakfast. The toaster oven, I had left something on top of it that should have been removed. I didn't even notice till after. I didn't even smell it. But, yeah, it wasn't that badly melted. It was just slightly warped. But, yeah, I was barely able to even walk the first week. I had this super nausea. Whew, I was vomiting the first day. First week was torture. Oh my god. I was on the couch basically the whole time and napping on and off all day. So I'll try to explain what it's like to have your balance completely taken away. It's like being, when it first happened, like my vision was, I'd stare at something and it was kind of like moving, right, my vision. And so when I close my eyes, I have no balance. It's gone. The only thing giving me balance and able to move about in our reality is my eyes, which puts a lot of input onto your brain because your brain's not used to doing that. Like, you're supposed to have an inner balance with your ears and your brain so it just automatically works. I didn't have that. And, yeah, walking was tough. Like, I'd walk to the bathroom from the couch and I'd be, like, catching myself. Ooh, I even felt it right there. Movements, sudden movements, turning my head, shaking my head made me super nauseated. I feel like I was going to vomit. It was just torture. This is some of the sickest I've ever been in my life. Especially that first day on the Sunday. Yeah, I think it was... I wish I just am not keeping track of dates. I think it was 3 weeks ago, but I was sick the week before. I got hurt my back, my spine, and so I was very weak. And then I swear I had like the flu, but it left quickly. And then I was hit with this balancing. But in the last days before I woke up that Sunday morning, I was beyond sick with no balance. I would lay down on the bed, and the entire room would spin for a few seconds. It was the strangest frickin' thing. It happened for a couple days in a row, and then before the Sunday, and then just like it. But that's not it. It only did that before, thank God. Like, I haven't had the room spinning, like literally spinning. I haven't had that since before, just for like 2 days before that Sunday. So, oh, if it was constantly doing that, I would be, kill me. Yeah, but so I've had to recover. I've been going to see a physiotherapist, and unfortunately, I mean, there's good and bad news. Unfortunately, it takes up to 3 months to fully recover from this. And the good part is, though, it's almost 100% recovery rate. It's rare, but not unheard of to have this. I don't even know what it's called. He said there's some condition, I forget. But he's the right kind of physiotherapist, which I've never heard of before, a vestibular physiotherapist. So he's been giving me a lot of exercises to do with my eyes, and on a wall with, you know, post-it stamps, and with markings on it, so I can look at them back and forth and then do movement with my head to look at them, and I have to do that every day. And do some balance, you know, like tightrope walking with your feet in front of each other, and do walking every day. Unfortunately, the walking every day, which I was doing, because of my injury to my spine that I got back in 2009, my right side is out of place, so my leg and my foot is mechanically out of place, which is what I was told by my physiatrist I used to see. So walking, actually, excessive walking is not good for me because my foot will feel like it's on fire. And I was like limping yesterday taking my kids to school. I'm like, I'm not walking today. I'm not going to walk this weekend. It's too much. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been doing everything I could. And I was taking some kind of prescription bisphysomine. I don't know what the hell it's called. Can't recall very much right now. So it wasn't supposed to make you better, just sort of mask. It was supposed to mask it so you can feel better. And then it ran out, and I don't want to get it again because I don't want it to be... I just want to feel how I'm supposed to feel. I don't want it to be masked, because they're also saying that's a bad thing because you might think you're okay and just not fully recover. So you have to do these. You have to do the exercises that he's given me for the sight and movement of my eyes and head, and the balance things, and in order to recover, because he said if you just stick it out in a dark room, which darkness did help, and closing my eyes and lying down when I was feeling very nauseated and tired. Whew, the tiredness. Because like I said, your brain is balancing you. So when it was really bad for me, constant brain tired. And I would go and that first week, I just tried it once. I had to pay a bill online. I came down. No, I had to send money to somebody and then pay a bill. Oh my god, look in this screen. It was like, what did I wrote down here? It was total overload. I could barely even look at the computer screen. It's painful, like looking at modern art while drunk and on heavy prescription meds and trying to figure out what its meaning is, if it has any. But yeah, that's about how I could describe it. It was just awful. Ugh. I can do it. I've been forcing myself along the way to also use a computer. Just for anything. I could just be watching a video. But that's not really interactive, so I mean, I've been playing games, just any games, a lot of strategy games that are low-key, not action-orientated, just so I could get used to it. So bit by bit, I was able to expand how long I was able to play on the computer. And so I can play pretty much without having to go to sleep, but I'm still tired come evening. So, I mean, I'm an avid gamer, so hanging out on the couch for that long. I mean, I was watching YouTube and movies and stuff like that on Netflix, and yeah, it just gets boring. I'm the kind of person where I've got to be doing something. My body will just start going nuts if I have to sit still. Like, this is an playing games is an interactive thing. Just sitting and watching all day for days upon end. I'm not doing anything. Even though my body wasn't up to it, it was still driving my mind crazy. I just felt like that was more torture on top of the physical torture. But it's like back in 2016 when I was hospitalized for 15 days because of encephalitis. The worst part of it was I was just so bored. All I had was a TV and my phone. And my phone wasn't even this phone that I have now. It was a crappier phone. Yeah. So yeah, I've got to do something, and that's the worst part for me is the boredom. Boredom inside my mind. So, I mean, I may seem to be okay right now, but I'm not 100%, more like about 90% better. Walking to my kids' school, I really feel it. It's like I say, it just feels like things are moving like a ship at sea when there's a storm. I've been in that. Our cruise ship for our honeymoon went to the Caribbean. We went through a storm on the way back, and I was so sick the entire way back. The boat was literally all day long rocking like this, but it was a slow rock, and you can feel it. And yeah, I was taking all the ginger I could. Ginger pop, ginger candies, anything with ginger in it, try and make it feel better. There was, sorry, if you are ever sick at sea, but there was something that does work, and we got this on a Mexican... It wasn't a cruise ship, it was a Mexican boat. So we went to Tulum, Mexico for the cruise ship, and there was a boat we had to take from the drop-off point to the old ruins there. And I don't know why I was sick even on that boat. I don't know what's going on. I get sick all the time. Anyway, so I asked the guy, he barely spoke English, one of the guys, they had a bunch of guys in the main area where all the people are sitting and looking out the window on this 20-minute, half-an-hour boat ride, on the smaller boat, obviously. And I asked them if they have anything, because they had like a bar where there's like drinks and stuff. I don't know if it was a real bar, but they had selling drinks and food. I asked them, I was like desperate, do you have anything that will help me get rid of the seasickness? So he gave me this for I think it was $5 American. And we're talking 2009. That was our honeymoon, 2009. This tiny little bottle with this little cap, and it's very, very strong, potent ginger. And he said, put it on your nose. So I did it. And then within a couple minutes, I felt perfectly fine. So yeah. So, no, that bottle was used up years ago. So I wish I had some of that. I don't think it will work for how I feel now. But if you're ever seasick, there's some advice. Strong, potent, condensed ginger works. Put it underneath your nose so you can breathe it in. It worked for me then. So yeah, I'm trying to see where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, I forced myself to play longer and longer periods. I couldn't do it half an hour at first, after the first week, half an hour in the second week, and then I was just done for the day. But yeah, I have about a 2-month recovery to be fully recovered, apparently. So I plan to make videos again, but I'll be doing it slowly, maybe 3 or 4 a week. Like maybe every second day I'll see about putting one out. I mean, I might just be so tired halfway through making a video. Writing this out has tired me out, what I'm reading right now. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So I'd like to talk about other things from my channel news videos, not just how my health is doing. But, yeah, just news or anecdotes about the games or RPing in general, the games that I'm putting on my channel. One thing my tired head can remember is an interesting bit of information I read before I got sick. This is like a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. It was about when Oblivion was made back in 2005, 2006, when they were making it. So apparently back then, Bethesda never considered trying to do more than just having a dungeon as a dungeon. Just like out there, doing its own thing, existing on its own, mostly like, kind of like being in a vacuum. It's its own thing within the game world. No connection. There's a dungeon there. Go in, don't go in. Unless there's a quest, really probably doesn't matter. It was at the tail end of when they were making Oblivion that the lead designer came up with an idea and talked to the... Not designer of the game. I don't remember who it was. He was the lead designer of the dungeons for the game. And I think there was a couple other guys that also worked with him to create all the dungeons. Like, there's hundreds of dungeons in these Bethesda's games. I could see how not tying in something like a natural cave with a bear or wolves would be... It would make sense. I mean, it's just a bear living in a cave. There doesn't have to be anything in there other than that. Maybe some corpses and skeletons of people or animals. But for the most part, for most of the dungeons, there should be something to liven it up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about yet... So I'll try to explain. So the lead designer had a brainstorming session with the others who also worked with him on the dungeons, and they came up with an idea that would tie dungeons into the larger world of the game. This seems very simple to us now, so this is an easy to see why didn't you think of this back then? Or why wasn't it thought of before, like in the 90s? Yeah, so the idea was to play something small. Like, this is very small, but what it does is go out of the... It makes that dungeon feel like it's part of the greater world that you're playing in. So it could be notes. There's a named character with a journal inside there that you maybe kill. Maybe he's a necromancer. Like in that first dungeon when I left the sewers in my Oblivion Let's Roleplay. So yeah, he had a journal in there. And actually that dungeon, is it Vilviverin? Something like weird like that name. That dungeon was actually even named in the article I read. So it just something small, like it may mean nothing beyond that dungeon, but it will feel like to the player like it is part of the greater world. Instead of just having dungeons just there to go in and get XP and loot from. And you know what I mean? I think a few of those make sense, but they should really try to liven it up. And they didn't really consider this till the very end of making these dungeons. So the number that they actually started putting these things in before Oblivion was complete was like 12 dungeons. And then Vilviverin was one of them. So they only got to the very end. Consider this hundreds of dungeons, a couple hundred dungeons in the game. So when I'm thinking of this, I'm wondering if Bethesda did this for all the dungeons in Fallout 3, Skyrim, and Fallout 4 after. The things to remember that often these are small additions just to make them feel like they're part of the game world, so it may not always feel that way when you're thinking back when you played it years ago. You may not really even remember a lot of them. They could be something as simple as a couple terminal entries or a holotape in the Fallout games. But now I'll be paying attention, because I'm playing Fallout 4, just to see if it's something that you commonly go through. I know that there's a fair bit of terminal entries and the odd holotape in places that you go. It just makes me think about how bland and sterile, can I say that right? The idea of creating hundreds of dungeons for your Elder Scrolls game was in design philosophy in the first 4 games. Much of them must have been just about giving the player a place to get XP and loot, and not to make them feel alive and part of the game world. Which I find strange now that I think of it. When I was reading that article, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I'm just wondering what they were thinking back then when they were originally making all the first few games. So, I'm doing okay, I think. It's time to read the polls, and I'll get to vote myself. Alright, going back after November 28th was which is, if I can talk right, which is the last time I covered the polls. What is the least favorite part about Fallout 4? Your least favorite part. It's getting hard for me to read, actually. Maybe it's because the screen is so dark for me, for my eyes. These are the most common arguments, and I don't necessarily endorse them, but I understand why people might not like them. So, look at these. They're blank circles. And this just today is the first time I've seen this change. I've never seen this before. Alright, so I think, for me, personally, and I don't really agree with any of these being a serious problem, or a lot of people do, I think seemingly lack of meaningful choices. And I personally don't feel that that's that huge of a deal in the game, because I don't think it's like I said, seeming lack of meaningful choices. I think there's a lot of meaningless choices that don't feel meaningful, but I think there's a fair bit that do, like especially in the end, like there's the 4 endings. But you want more than just an ending, like Mass Effect. 3 different color choices. Yeah. I don't agree. That I'm not happy about, okay? Mass Effect 3. There should have been a Mass Effect 4, not Andromeda. And they should have, because if you choose the red one and your score is high enough, your character's still alive. It shows them for a second. I don't know if everybody who's played through to the end of Mass Effect 3 has seen that, but your score is high enough. It means you complete a lot of all the things. Well, maybe not all of them, but most of them in the game. And choose the red. It shows you like you're kind of like entombed with some kind of rock, and it only shows for 1 second, but it means you're still alive. So yes, I know that the extended ending scene cut for the game, your name was removed from the list of dead people. There's a list of people who had died in the, I guess, with the fights, and your name was removed. I guess if you chose the red one, I don't know. But I think if you don't choose the red one, you kind of, you're indoctrinated. Is it indoctrinated? What is the, I haven't played the game in several years. You're indoctrinated, so you're controlled by the Reapers. So, yeah, don't choose the green. The very first time I played it, I chose green. I was thinking, yes, synthesis, we can work together. But I didn't really realize that, yeah, I chose to be indoctrinated. And, blue... What was blue? Red was to destroy them, blue I forget, and I'm totally going off here. But anyways, we're talking about Fallout 4. So, comments... hummus. I think 1, 4, and 5. So, player, character, voice, actor, 4, seeming lack of meaningful choices, and 5, character is half written for you. All play into each other. Bethesda decided that since they're paying a voice actor to voice all the character lines, they don't want to have a bunch of lines 90% of players may not hear. Yes, I'm sure that would be part of it. I think getting rid of the voice actor main character in a future Fallout game would allow for more flexibility in decision... more making, and also allow for maybe a more flexible way to complete the story. I also think that the story has never been the strong part of Bethesda games, and instead it's the Easter eggs and sense of exploration that really immerses me and helps me enjoy their games. And I wrote back, sounds good, I pretty much agree, though to be honest, I don't mind the player voice, but as you pointed out, it's not just limited to a voice character, it cascades into a lot of other things. I don't know where they're going to go with speech synthesis. They're already starting to incorporate these in future games. Yeah. Like in Book of Boba Fett, they had Luke Skywalker's voice was speech synthesized. Apparently, I thought that was that was Mark Hamill who actually did the voice, but apparently that was synthesis. Synthesis. I can't even say it. Synthesis. There. I think it's really coming along. And I think it could really be used. Think of it this way, though, like... You have a voice actor, but anything written, typed out would be spoken. So you don't need that voice actor for speech synthesis. And anything that's written there for your character to say, your character will say it. I think that they could have a stock voice, or a few of them. Maybe you can even fine-tune it, or maybe you can even get it to copy your own voice. I know that they can do this. This is being done. You can copy your own voice, and your character can even speak it for you. Well, you may be wondering, well, why would you want that when you can just read it yourself? Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot more than that. Like I pointed out in a previous video that I did, every character voice acted. Now, Knights of the Old Republic, you're the one that really started this, where everyone, except for the main character, is voiced. It's limited. It's limited what NPCs will say. Usually now they have 1 or 2 lines, and that's it. They really don't have that much for smaller NPCs. But with speech synthesis, and with like an AI, kind of like, you know how they use like an AI algorithm to place the forests in Skyrim, and they did that in Oblivion, I believe. It's an algorithm that they use to just, you know, make it so they don't have to place every tree and branch and everything and every bush. They could also maybe even do something like that with the smaller NPCs, to kind of like give them a personality, give them a backstory. Even if you want to get into it, you meet some shopkeeper in some faraway place, and the person actually has more than 1 line in a name. Instead of, or 2 lines, he'll when you click on him or her, they'll say like, welcome to my shop, would you like to buy something? And then the next one, which would be, so how's business around here? This is a typical thing for RPGs. And then they would just say, oh, it's business been slow and no one's coming in these days. So all the problems that are going on, which is, you know, part of the main quest. And that's it. That's your character. But with speech synthesis and an AI fleshing it out, that person could have more of a personality and seem more real. These are just ideas for the future, and I think that for RPGs is something that will happen eventually, as long as we keep playing these RPGs. So, Bob the Player. Recently, I played through... Oh, I didn't want to reply. I want to view my reply. I recently played through Fallout 3 again and realized how great it is. Fallout 4 sure is a good game, but it's not easy to follow up such a perfect hit as Fallout 3. I didn't play through... I played through the end of Fallout 3. I said one day I will revisit the game. I have no idea why so many dislike it. It was Bethesda's first Fallout game, and I remember it quite well. Yes, I do remember it all quite well, but I didn't play the DLC. So in the base game, you die at the end. And that's what I think stuck with a lot of people. Like, this is bullshit, man. So, almost like a Mass Effect ending. Mass Effect 3 ending. So Captain Red 1000. Boy, you have been with my channel for a long time. This is one of the longest persons that's been with my channel. Probably since, what, 2014 is my guess. But there's been one person that's been here longer. Of course, with my clouded head, I can't recall the name. So, writing overall just feels like downgrade to both Fallout 4 games that came before. I don't agree with that. I don't feel that way, I wrote back. I played Fallout 3 to the main ending and watched the entire Let's Play of Fallout New Vegas. Personally, I feel the plot of Fallout 4 is better in how it includes your son and how crazy it all is and the choices you are given at the end. Don't forget that there was also Fallout and Fallout 2. The people who made Fallout New Vegas also made those two. Well, many of them were involved. It was Black Isle to Obsidian, the Switch companies. I think they lost a few people. Back then, when they were called Black Isle Studios, the next Fallout game on my channel will be Fallout, meaning Fallout 1. Babylon has fallen. I hate them all except settlement building, so it's really hard to choose a least favorite. Well, you know what? Settlement building does bother me a little bit. It's because I already went through it, and it can be tedious. I spent a lot of time doing it in my first playthrough. A lot of time. Every place I came through. As long as I had settlers living there. Not every single place. Because I don't... For some reason I never settled Red Rocket gas station that's right outside... I want to call it Paradise. It's not Paradise. Your place where you start, where you live, where your home is. Yeah, my head is fuzzy. Very clouded right now. It's not... I went through it and I just don't feel like going back and doing that all again. So, I don't know. I'm kind of torn between these two choices. I got 3% edition. No, 2% when it comes to this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave with seeming lack of meaningful choices. I hate them all except some of the building. It's really hard to choose a least favorite. I wrote back, too funny. No, he's got a point, Stash Antics says. Stash Antics, I understand that some people have issues with the game, and despite the fact that I very much like the game, I do find it funny that there is so much that is disliked about it. Babylon has fallen. Laugh out loud, I have so many complaints, yet I still enjoy the game. There you go. Alright, I didn't read out... so 48 votes. The player character voice actor, 10%. Settlement, building, Miniman, Radiant Quest, 10%. The perk system replacing the original skill system, 6%. Seeming lack of meaningful choices, 35%. Characters half written for you, 38%. So that wins the poll. Half written for you. You know, sometimes, like I'm so used to writing characters that things are just so wide open with a lot of the things I do write that sometimes having it narrowed a bit, like in the case of Fallout 4, half written for you, it's nice to sometimes work within a framework and then see what you can do with that as a writer. That's how I feel. Alright, I'm gonna like my own post. Let's go to the comments. Who is your favorite companion for Ryan Moore in Fallout 4 so far? So I don't even know. I can't see without voting. That's definitely a big change. So, Nick Valentine. Oh, Piper Wright wins with 36%. Nick Valentine, 27%. There's 22 votes here. Paladin Dance, 5%. Codsworth, 5%. Dogmeat, 27%. Yeah, Nick is my favorite. Yeah. He's pretty much my favorite character in the whole game. So, my favorite for Ryan wasn't on there, Ada, so I'll choose Piper. It says Buckle Backwoods. Ada, I thought all she says was she was sad that she lost all her former owners, so far at least. I have done the Mechanist questline before, and I know she says more when begin to complete the quests. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay, oh sick. Yeah. Okay, so I'll try to do these faster. Otherwise I'll be here for making a 2-hour video and just pass out afterwards. Which faction do you like the most in Fallout 4? 53 votes. I like the Minutemen, personally. And they did not win. The Brotherhood of Steel won. You know what? I actually thought that that would win when I made this poll. I thought that they would be the #1, and I was right. So the Minutemen with 20%, the Brotherhood of Steel 35%, the Railroad 15%, the Institute 22%. Yeah, my buddy did the Institute. Now, if you're watching this, this is something I've looked up, and it doesn't explicitly say this. And the reason why I went against the Institute, chose the Minutemen, and, you know, a very important person in my life, and basically destroyed them, which was the impetus for the entire game, for you to get out of the vault that you unfreeze from. So, I swear, like, the feeling that the Institute gave me is that they were going to make everybody, not make everyone synths, but populate the world with synths and take down anyone that got in their way, and so they'll be able to control them. And my friend said, no, that's not what happened. And he's like, well, why? How could you go against so-and-so? You know? And I was like, well, this is what I thought. This is what I thought that the Institute was doing. They were trying to take over everything and populate the world with their own controlled people, basically. And that I'm against that, obviously. And that's why I went against that important person in my life. So, if that is not the case, please write a comment, because I believe that that is basically what you're up against in Fallout 4, what the Institute's trying to do. And that's what everybody's paranoid about as well, like in Diamond City, is what they're all afraid of. But it's not through Diamond City, it's not the paranoia that I have come to see that. And there's that other little place that really, really is against synths. I'll be getting to in a future video. But that's not where I got that from. I got it from the Institute itself, from what they're doing, what I'm seeing them do, what they say they're doing. Although they don't explicitly say, we're going to take over the world and populate it with our controlled synths. So that it's, to me, it's implied. It's just not something that's outright said. And maybe they did that so you don't just think the Institute is evil, and you'd be like, how could anybody side with the Institute? Look what they're doing. Maybe they did that just to kind of give them, put them in a kind of morally gray area. I don't know, grayish, because they're not good. So Isaac Cromwell said, I honestly like the Minutemen, especially in survival mode. It's all I really did in survival. Acted like I was actually trying to survive the wasteland with the settlers, making sure that the settlements were actually hospitable and everything, so I always had a place I could survive at as well. Actually, that's a really good idea, and I wanted to use survival mode. I really did. I had a bad experience. When it came out, was it 26? The game came out in 2015, but survival mode came out sometime later. I think it was 2016. And so I played with it, and I do not ever want to have that frustration again. I think I was on normal mode, difficulty mode, but it was survival. I'm not even sure if you can change the difficulty in survival, maybe. But anyways, I was in survival mode, and you definitely don't need to make it hard. In my game, I'm playing my Let's Roleplay game. It's on hard mode. There was, like that place where I hope I haven't said this before in the video. But anyways, the place we first fight the Deathclaw when you meet up with, the settlers. The Minutemen, the Preston Garvey, yeah. I had to redo that like 5 or 6 times because you couldn't save it, and it's very difficult. In fact, I remember going into the building where Preston Garvey and the settlers were, and I would be one-shotted. I'm like just dead, because what it does is increase the lethality of damage in the game. So you do something like, what is it, 150% or 200% damage more to the enemy. And they do like 300 plus damage more to you. So you can get one-shotted and you can't save. You can only... Okay, you can save, but it's difficult. The only place you can save, and that entire place was... There was a bed near... Closer to near the Red Rocket gas station. So it's on the other side of town, and you go through so much to get there, and then the Deathclaw can just come and kill you. It may have been more like 8-10 times I had to go through that. It was awful. I don't want that frustration. And let's not get into when I went into that... the Corvega plant factory. There was this part where there was like a dozen raiders, and I was fighting with them, and yeah, I kept on getting killed over and over again. It was like 20 times I died, and I realized it's just, I don't want to play this. This is just too frustrating. There's no way in hell I want to make a Let's Roleplay video doing that. It's I'm not sure if you can change the difficulty level in survival mode, but if you could, I would lower it. Yeah. And there was, like I said, yeah, I think I may have said this before, actually, in a video. My head is very cloudy right now. There are mods, plenty of mods that claim to alter the survival mode, but you look through the comments and everybody's complaining it's not working, and I went through all of them that I could find on the Nexus mods, and there's just nothing that worked, so... Please forgive the thumps you're hearing from my 7-year-old son running around upstairs. So, Wishful Stinker. Preston, there's another settlement that needs our help. Yeah, as the general, I'll just delegate this to you. Go save them. Yeah, because you're the general, you're the head of the Minutemen, which has already happened to my character. Yeah, it's one of those, I wrote back, it's one of those that I can't even read what I wrote. It's one of those you are the only one who has agency video game type situations, you know, like Spore. I'm not a particular fan of that trope. However, I do have a big Minutemen mod installed that will make them seem more lively in the Commonwealth. Yeah, I've got, what is it, Minutemen Forever? I don't remember what it's called, but it changes up the Minutemen. Makes them look different. I think that they come with higher levels as well. They're more badass. And yeah, you'll see more patrols of them the further you progress into the Minutemen quest line. Sounds like my family is leaving. Okay, on to the next poll. What is your opinion on the longer videos I now publish? They are 40 to 60 minutes now instead of 25 to 35 minutes. This was done to help me arrange my time better so that I can have more time during the day when I make videos, with as little impact as possible on the content I put out. Oh, this is getting hard for me. Though there are now less narrated intros to the videos, it does save me more work and one video per day. I didn't expand this, though longer is easier on me. Yeah, not with how I'm feeling right now. This was back in December when I wrote this. So, you know, personally, I like watching the shorter videos better, but I like making the longer videos. They're just easier for me. So, I like it better. 62%, there's 34 votes. I have no opinion, good or bad, just as long as I keep coming, 35%. I like the shorter videos better, 3%, so it's like one person voting. Night Reese. That's how they say it in the game. Night Reese. And I didn't thumb that up. I like it better because you have more time during the day. A happy content creator makes content worth watching, and with RP videos, your disposition and mood overall can have an impact of your character's outlook. So you being happy is a huge win for yourself and your viewers. And I wrote back, awesome, thank you. Captain Red 1000, fully agreed. Buck wrote, Night Reese took the words right out of my mouth. I'm glad you're doing well and things are working out. Who is your favorite character that I have played as since I began publishing new videos again in 2020? 33 votes. Who's my favorite character? I'm gonna have to go with Ryan Moore. I would have... Whoa! Orin of Candlekeep won with 32%. I would have actually said Snil, Rilvain. It's just that with Ryan Moore, I have... I really think that I've done my best in character, RPing, role-playing, with Ryan Moore. I don't know why. Probably because I can more... I've said this, I just feel like he's... Not just because of the name, it's my own name. And yes, I chose that because Codsworth calls you Ryan. There's not many RPGs I can play that my own real name can be used in the game. Not yet. Not yet. With speech synthesis. Still have a problem saying that. With speech synthesis, that will change in the future. Okay, Buck. So 34 votes, Snail Roleplay came at 29%, or Mechanical Keep, which is surprising, won 32%. I know I have a lot of people watching those videos from at least the first game, not as much in the second game. The first game has gotten quite a lot of attention. Baldur's Gate. So Keldon Zatha, 6%. Malcolm Montrose, 18%. And Ryan Moore, 15%. Add 3% to it. So yeah, Keldon Zatha, I had, a couple weeks ago, I had somebody, it was a very nice comment that they left. They said that it's like their all-time favorite RPG that they've ever watched somebody play. And so I informed them that yes, there's actually, I did the second game as well. Pillars of Eternity 2. What the heck is the name of it? I want to say Deadwood. I don't know why. I've never even watched that show. Deadfire, yeah. Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. And they're like, oh, wow. Okay, so I take it that they're going to watch it. But, yeah, and they also said they come back and rewatch it every once in a while, the first game that I did. So that was kind of nice. I get these random things placed in my videos. I've got several thousand videos up now, so... Buck wrote, I gotta go with Sunil. It's not that I don't like your other characters, I do. Ryan and Malcolm are top-notch. It's just Sunil was more, I don't know how to describe it, more gung-ho, less pessimistic. He was a real hero in my opinion. Well, maybe more of an anti-hero, but I really liked him and how he interacted with the people and world around him. So I wrote back, a very good observation. Yes, Sunil is the type of hero or anti-hero that I think many would aspire to. That's the way I wanted to write him, and I think it came up pretty well. He had some dark moments as well, such as when he talked about Bethany being executed, and that he believed he loved her, when he took on the corpus disease, and when Shani was pretty cruel to his heart, but it never held him down. Yeah. Well, there's another thing I've had back and forth. I don't mind making female characters, but a lot of people on my channel have not really taken to them too well, especially some of the biggest viewers of my content and people who respond a lot. Like Buck is one of them who responds a lot, and Night Reese, and I really do appreciate people who write a lot of comments and I can chat back and forth. It makes me feel like my work is being appreciated, and it makes it easier. Like if I can't talk to anybody, it just feels like I just get money for what I'm doing, and yeah, nobody's really interacting with me. Why am I doing this? So yes, I do need people to talk to. It keeps me going. So I wrote back to Buck, I can see your point of view about Orin of Candlekeep. That's why I chose not to play as a female character again. However, I think you should know that when I considered the sex of the character, it wasn't to be a man playing a woman. It was as a man being the narrator and spirit of the story. Sex really had nothing to do with it. I looked at it from a writer's perspective. I just wanted to tell a story. Just as I read many male authors who write females into their stories, I don't consider that anything other than just the author telling a story, and yes, he wrote those parts of the story in which a woman took part. You have to remember that I come from a writer's background. Playing a female character, as I assume you know, had nothing to do with modern politics. In fact, I think the other side of the political spectrum would also say they don't like what I did because it would be some kind of exploitation of women, but I never intended any of that, other than to tell a good in-character story. That's 100% true. So, Buck wrote back, it seems whenever I say anything even slightly controversial, it gets deleted. I'll just keep it on the straight and narrow. Night Reese said, your Baldur's Gate is some of your finest work, but I think you voted for Sunil judging by his comment in this post. Night Reese, I'm going to go with Sunil Rilvain. He was super confident, didn't complain much, was strong-willed, seemed eager to complete the tasks at hand no matter the cost, wanted to improve himself, always seemed ready for adventure, and appreciated the world around him. Yeah. I wrote back, laugh out loud. I liked the didn't complain much part. Oh, he complained a lot, but it didn't seem to hold him back. In general, he's a bit of a positive guy. I'm doing a bit of an emotional dive into my character in Fallout 4. Yeah. Yeah, some of that emotion, like... Yeah, that was really... That wasn't... It was acting, but I was able to tap into my own emotions to do it, which is, I think, the best acting. I don't think it's really easy for people that haven't had much trauma in their life to act in a way that the person is, you know, really hurt. It just won't really, you just don't feel that, right? Yeah, people who have, like, I have had a lot of crap in my life. It's easy to tap into that inner pain you have and bring it out. And the parts with Ryan Moore's wife dying, like, that's, like, I didn't have tears, but I almost felt like I was, as I'm bringing that out, I've felt that emotion, that sadness through me, and my throat kind of did choke up a bit when I was making that. That was genuine. And that's, I think that's really good voice acting. That, to me, as long as it's written well, anyone can act anyone in pain, but going along right with the story, written well, and voice acted well, I mean, I think it comes out really good. And that's another thing that just occurred to me, that Ryan Moore is different from, say, Malcolm Montrose and Sunil Relvain, mainly in the fact that he has a wife and child, which I have. I have two boys, 11 and 7. My 11-year-old just turned 11 yesterday, actually. It's his birthday. I think because I can relate to losing people like that in my life, that's, like, Malcolm and Sunil didn't have that. They didn't have the family that they personally lost, and I could feel, like, when I watch people telling their stories of losing their kids in whatever way, and they're just, like, devastated, I feel sad inside. I feel sad for them, right? So, because to me, losing my kids would be the most devastating thing that I could ever imagine, you know? So I can tap into that well and use it. I can't really do that with the Bethesda characters because they don't have families. I mean, I could do a Skyrim Let's Roleplay with a character who lost all his family, and I don't really want to go through that again. I'm already doing it with Fallout 4. But I could do that, right? And maybe, you know, but they're not in the game. Like, it's different because these characters that you lose, your family that you lose, are in Fallout 4, and you go through losing them. That wouldn't be in Skyrim because you're not married. You're some single, whatever age guy or girl, whatever you play as. It's different. That's a big blank slate, right? You can just write anything you want. You can claim you lost all your family right before you were taken by the Imperial Legion, the Empire, at the very beginning. But it won't have the impact because it's not really part of the game. But anyways, it's all interesting role-playing stuff. Surprised I'm even able to keep talking right now. It's my vision's kind of going like this. Where was I? Okay, so Knight Reese. The contrast is pretty extreme, but at the moment I wrote back, it's actually helped me with real life. The good artists are usually tortured, and that's sort of what I'm feeling these days. Oh, yeah. This must have been after Christmas. Episodes 53 and especially 54 took a lot from me. I wish I was in a better place at the moment, but I think it's coming out pretty well in my Fallout 4 videos. I plan to make more tomorrow. So Ashley Wilkinson. Sunil for me. I just finished binge watching the whole of your Morrowind playthrough. Isn't that 213 videos? Wow, it's a lot. I'm not sure how the Morrowind Forever mod worlds, but I'd love to see his adventures on the Morrowind mainland. And also, I think Fallout New Vegas would really suit your roleplay style. Maybe one for the future. So I wrote back, thank you for watching my videos. Yes, definitely New Vegas in the future. Please give my Oblivion videos and Fallout 4 videos a watch too. With Fallout 4, I think I've done some of my best work so far. Ashley Wilkinson wrote back, I've started the Oblivion playthrough, just seen you close the Kvatch Gate, also started Fallout 4 too. I wrote back, awesome, I guess that's because Fallout 4 is closer to our world in terms of fantasy. I just felt it easier to pour more of myself into the character. Though he's going through a real tough time at the moment, I just hope it shines through as heartfelt and real. Then, my goal for the game, because you start at, like, the beginning of Fallout 4 is so tragic. I want him to be that Sunil Relvain in the end, right? That positive rise up through the ashes, rise up through whatever, all the problems that have been given to him, and just come out on top. That was my intention. It's taking longer, and I thought it would. When I start that in September, that Let's Roleplay. And I haven't made videos in about a month, so I'll be getting to it. I think it's like the early 60s, like 63. I finished the last video, was the last one. Yeah, I can't give a number when things are gonna get over. Really, his wife died, his son is gone. These really aren't things that you actually get over. You can feel better about your day and yourself, but you'll always have this sadness somewhere within you. You'll never be this 100% person. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to have my character do it, but realistically, it's been like 2 months. So, October 23rd. It's not even January in the game. It's like the first week of December. Yeah, you're not going to get over it that fast. It could take years, realistically. It can help by finding something new, like a new love, or... But even that is fast at the moment. I know, like... It's a game. And it's just all acting it out in the story. It's not exactly realistic, but... If I was to really write something, I would say 6 months before he would, in real life, realistically find new love. And, But, you know, 6 months, the game could be finished. I doubt it, though, actually, because I played a lot. I finished the original game. And I was playing again. I think I got to the next fall. So almost, yeah, a whole year. And there's still lots for me to do in the game. Jeez, this game's going to go on forever. Let's compare your favorite game series that I have done on my channel in a head-to-head battle. Yes, I may have done a similar poll like this before, but let's do another one. I think I did back in late 2020. Or it could have been early 2021, actually. I'm not really remembering much, guys, at the moment. I'm just vaguely getting bits of memory. I could be way off. It could have been mid-2021. Alright, so what is my favorite? I'm going to go Fallout game. It's my favorite. Not my favorite. Well, maybe second favorite. But it's starting to maybe become my favorite, even over Skyrim. Fallout 4. I just feel really immersed in the world. I really do. The game mechanics make it so much better. I mean, it's taken from Skyrim and improved them here and there. It's actually a decent shooter. It's not as great as it could be, but it's a hell of a lot better than the Fallout 3 engine they used. I like the game mechanics. I like the fact that your characters... I do like the character voice. I don't always like everything he says, but... I like the fact that there are characters that you get to know and have real stories, and they're your buddies. You don't have a buddy in Fallout 3 for the entire game. I like that. I like the fact that they really tried to have... Did they do that? Do they actually have much of a schedule? I guess everyone has a schedule in the game. I just wish that Bethesda would pull it out of their butt and try to do a real daily life thing. I can have that with mods in Skyrim, like the Immersive Citizens mods, where people really do stuff. It's actually really nice to see, like the Battleborns in Whiterun and the other family that they're kind of, but they have a son and daughter that are actually in a relationship, but obviously that wouldn't be taken very well because they're the Greymanes and Battleborn, because they're at odds with each other. The Greymanes favoring the one side, and the Battleborns favoring the Imperials. Jeez, my head. Anyways, you'll see the son and daughter out with this Immersive Citizens mod, sitting on a rock outside the city, and just talking to each other and like eating. It's nice to see little things like that, and they go out and they do that maybe for a couple hours during the day. Like, you don't, like, what's with Bethesda? I know I've gone over this before. Like, they tried to do that in Oblivion, to have a real schedule, and they showed that with one of the trailers for Oblivion. If you go watch, it's a fairly long trailer, like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, I think, if I remember right. And it's following a woman, and she goes about her daily things, you know, practicing archery. Dog is barking. She tells the dog to be quiet. I'm not sure. She does a bunch of stuff, and that I've never seen in a video game before. You go back to when that trailer came out. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Well, then they just, I don't want to say dumbed it down. They just watered it down very much. And I've heard that because they, And I have seen this. I remember seeing this. I haven't seen this in my playthrough I'm doing right now, but I saw this back in the day when I was playing Oblivion when it came out, first few years. The guards would just randomly start chasing people and kill them. And it would be a character with a name, right? Not just some unknown person. And I think it's because, you know, then they just have to change the guard AI to stop going after people. But it's because people with players or your NPCs would start getting killed and the guards would kill them. They could have done something more with that. So I think they just really dumbed it down and gave them, okay, this hour he's going to eat. This hour he's working for these hours. Then he goes to eat, and then he goes back to his place and sleeps. And that's about all you see. Pretty much. I don't know. I mean, I haven't followed all the many characters around in Oblivion. I know with the Immersive Citizen mod in Skyrim, people do a lot of things. Like, the first town, it's actually the same street, Riverwood. That's why that I live on, is Riverwood here. That's why I always remember the name of that place. That there's like a hunter, right? So with Immersive Citizens mod, that hunter actually does take off, sometimes for days at a time, and he's actually, if you follow him, he's hunting. With, I don't know if they actually had him do that without that mod. I think the AI was taken up a little bit better in Skyrim and Fallout 4. I don't know about Fallout 4, but Skyrim. But it's not as complete as it should be. It's not as realistic. So I do miss Fallout, or sorry, Skyrim. I really do miss that game. So, I chose Fallout games. The Elder Scrolls has won, which I knew it would, 50%. Fallout games, 13%. Baldur's Gate are number 1, 21%. Pillars of Eternity games all the way, 6%. The Dragon Age games are the best, 10%. So Knight Reese wrote, oh, I don't even know if I read this. 1 month ago. Okay, it was around the time I got sick. There will always be a special place for your Dragon Age series. I don't believe Fallout has had enough chance to grow when compared to a Morrowind and Oblivion roleplay when taken as a collective whole. I chose Elder Scrolls from a more objective point of view. 2 characters, 2 big playthroughs, both excellent. As for my personal favorite, Fallout 4 for selfish reasons. Much appreciated. Knight Reese. Yeah, I missed, somehow I missed this comment. What is the scariest enemy in Fallout 4 that you would be terrified to go up against if you were transported to the Earth that Fallout took place? Everybody's gonna choose Deathclaws. You know what? Like, Deathclaws are scary, but ghouls kind of bother me, and they didn't really bother me before going into the Super Duper Mart in my playthrough. When I was in there, it really felt just dirty, gross, messed up. And the ghouls are the ones that really made it feel that bad. For me. I'm going to go with Feral Ghouls. Yeah, Deathclaws won at 40%. So 40 votes. Feral Ghouls, 10%. Giant bugs, spiders, scorpions, flies, mosquitoes, 40%. Ah, it's tied. So why didn't I see that? Vision is not what it should. I don't get things that quickly. I don't even know how I'm going to make videos. But, I'll do my best. It might be my worst videos ever. So, Feral Ghouls. Giant bugs. You know what? Giant spiders would frickin' terrify me. I don't like little spiders. Well, little spiders. This big. I also... I lived 10 years in a place where there was a lot of black widows, and we had to clean out the basement when we moved, and oh my god, there was a lot of black widows down there. That's gotten to me. I don't like spiders. Yeah, big ones. I say the size of a quarter. Under that size, that's okay, but bigger than that, no. But I'm gonna have to go with Feral Ghouls because the way that they climb, like, I've got a window up there, they could easily smash through that window and climb through. I didn't, if you actually think about it, living in that world, because my character had to, like, and I was trying to find, you know, roleplay a safe place to go sleep at night, and all I was thinking is about where these ghouls could climb in and get to me. I'm like, so I had to choose safe places, right? Having your dog and Ada, the robot, yeah, you'll be they're like good alarm systems. So, but still, the idea of ghouls climbing through anything just to get to you, it's kind of got to me a little bit in the game, and I wouldn't want that. And Deathclaws, I get my power armor, my guns, and with my companions, and I can take it down. I didn't even... If I had another spot, I would probably write super mutants. Like, the super mutant behemoth is pretty terrifying, if it was real. Super mutants in general would be terrifying. They eat people. So, giant bugs, 40%. Raiders, 3%. I don't know if they eat people, but they certainly like to take heads off people and put the bodies on hooks. So, synths who look completely human and work for the Institute, 8%. Yeah, that would be, you may be afraid of, like, the threats you can just immediately see. But if your friend or lover is been swapped out for a synth and they're trying to, you know, sabotage and destroy you, that would be bad. Very bad. You'd always be kind of suspicious living in a world like that, looking for the small signs. I guess there's no tests like in that you can give them. What's that show with Harrison Ford? I can't remember, from the early 80s, 82, with the synthetic people in it. Ugh, brain's not working. Anyways, I think you know what I'm talking about. There's that test that you can give them to detect emotions, actually, see how they react. Because the synths, they weren't called synths, replicants. They wouldn't respond well to emotional output, but I don't think that's really an issue with the synths in this game. Maybe it was with the original synths, but they've had hundreds of years, or 100 years at least, or so, to kind of perfect them. So Babylon has fallen. Definitely the synths, at least with Deathclaws and the like, you know who your enemies are, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Joseph Haney, my ex-wife. Ah. Mirelurks. Bob the player. What the hell is a Mirelurk? Oh, the crabs. Giant crabs. Yeah, that's, I didn't have... I would include those things in the giant bugs. The Mirelurks. I wrote back, I wish I had more options for polls. The name of the movie is Blade Runner. I just had to look that up. Just type in replicants. So, a poll for Oblivion this time. So how do you feel about the videos? Did this even get it? Oh, yes, 26 votes. Now being recorded with OBS since mid-December, and now since September that it's at 60 frames per second. Seems to look as good as I can possibly make it for me. How do you feel about it? Okay. So it's only for Oblivion. I would rate good improvements. I like what I see now. I don't think it's 100%, but it's probably a good improvement, like 50, 75% better than what it was under Bandicam. So I wrote good improvements. I like what I see now. I chose that. 63%, it wins. I noticed some glitches, lag still, 15%. Any issues that were there before, I don't mind, 22%. Okay, so I take it, this is definitely when I was sick, when this poll came out. I tend to write polls out a month or two ahead. So this, thankfully, I didn't have to think of these things. I was probably in my sickest point when this poll came out from 3 weeks ago. So in serious character roleplays like I do my best to create with my videos, how do you feel about something that breaks the fourth wall? If you don't know what that means, then here. What is the fourth wall? The fourth wall is an imaginary wall that separates the story from the real world. This term comes from the theater, where the three surrounding walls enclose the stage while an invisible fourth wall is left open for the sake of the viewer. The fourth wall is the screen we're watching. We treat this like a one-way mirror. The audience can see and comprehend the story, but the story cannot comprehend the existence of the audience. If you break that wall, you break that accord. This is called breaking the fourth wall. It can also be described as the story becoming aware of itself. Yeah, like Deadpool. Parts of Deadpool. You know what? I mean, I would my first gut reaction is do your best to avoid it breaks immersion. But I think the occasional one, if I can pull it off, occasional funny one is acceptable, not too much. So, what won 64% out of 55 votes. As long as it is enjoyable, then feel free to go ahead. So, the occasional funny one is acceptable, not too much, 27%. Do your... I wrote this wrong. Do you best to avoid it as it breaks the immersion. Some writer I am. 9%. And the comments. Somebody actually just commented to me. What the heck? It's my comment I just made to Night Reese. Oh. I think I'm on the wrong frickin' account. Yeah. Anyways, well, we'll go with it. That's probably why I'm able to vote. Because it's not my main account. It's a little picture of me. So anyways, Jim... I'll sort this out afterwards. My head can't even comprehend this at the moment. Jim G, I get that it's hard to stay in character all the time. It can be quite exhausting, so there's no harm in breaking character once in a while. Night Reese, sending out prayers, positive vibes, and good feels to you, my man. Get better soon. I wrote back, I'm doing what I can, including trying to get myself familiar with using the computer again. It's not easy. Looking at my screen feels like someone dumping a ton of info on me at once, and I cannot handle it. I'm going for walks, doing the technique that Buck told me his dad did, and taking things to help alleviate the nauseated feeling. This is before I saw the physiotherapist. I'm going to see a physiotherapist that specializes in vertigo next Wednesday. I'm not sure when I can come back, but I'm making my best effort. Night Reese wrote back, glad you're still around, man. Super worried. Still praying for you. Have you checked if it was ear-related? It is. Many ear, perhaps? Do you have a ringing in ears like tinnitus? Keep me updated when you're able. I hope you get through this and come out stronger. No ringing in the ear. I'm able to play for a few hours today on my computer, but my head still isn't clear, and I do fight nausea and a foggy head all day. Balance is still way off. So Captain Red wrote, I've seen many a role player insert knowledge from previous playthroughs into their games as a joke. Yeah, it takes a bit of, you have to be able to pull off being funny, and I don't, like, if I do it in the spur of the moment, I can't. It really depends how I'm feeling and my mood. Sometimes it just comes off as dumb, silly. Sometimes, actually, I think I'm actually quite funny. Some of the things that just come to me. So, I don't know. Don't know what to say, but we've got more polls to go through. I just have to take this slowly, one at a time. Yeah, it's hard to think things through in my head. So anyways, in my Fallout 4 videos, how do you feel about Ryan Moore's descent into emotional pain due to the loss of his family? I don't get to vote anymore. I can vote up or down for the poll, but... So anyways, it's done quite well. Sad to watch, but still enjoyable. Out of 37 votes, 84%, this wins. Being in emotional turmoil really isn't my thing to watch, 3%. I think that's one vote. I think it's your best performance, 14%. And I would, if I had to choose one, I'd choose my best performance. I'm really actually quite enjoying playing through the game and my character. Oren Salace. I have completed everything aside Saradush. How do I get... totally unrelated. How do I get outside Saradush to continue the game? This is Baldur's Gate 2, Throne of Ball. So, I remember, yeah, I had to think through this one. It took me a while to come up with the answer. I think you have to go to your pocket plane, and then when you leave there, you're given the option to return where you last were, or to go outside Saradush. And never replied back. Damn, I really liked voting. Wow, this has one of the highest votes I've ever gotten for a poll. 73. Does the fact that my channel is dedicated to being in character make you more interested in my work than just a normal Let's Play? If you didn't know what my videos were about, and you saw the thumbnail with in character, would that make you more interested in seeing the video? What wins is 84%. Good in-character videos are rare, so yes. A little, though, it's down to the substance to keep me, 5%. I just like well-done videos, in character or not, 11%. This makes me wonder how many people see something that's... Can you actually see? Yeah, you can see once you vote. But how many people vote for something that hasn't voted for, just to cast a vote there. So if it's at 0%, like, I'll give this one a try. Or I'll choose this one, just so it's not a 0. I mean, I don't know. I just like well-done videos in character or not. I mean, that's true in general. I think everybody feels that way, but good in character videos are rare, so yes, that would be what my choice is. It's not that good, right, Reese wrote, it's not that good in character videos are rare. There are some fine ones out there. It's just that you were the best of them by a very large margin. Thank you, man. No, I'm not gonna golf, seal clap, which seems to be the in thing to do. What is this? Don't ask me. I wrote back, thanks a lot, 9 days ago. I don't even remember this, actually. I remember him saying that. I don't remember even writing back. Okay, so I just informing him of the things I've already gone over. The vestibular therapist. MC the BBF. I agree with this guy. I just stumbled upon your channel while looking for Elder Scrolls roleplays. If I had known about your channel, I would have subscribed to it a long time ago, and I hope you eventually do a Skyrim roleplay in the near future. I wrote back, thanks for watching. Yes, my plan is to make a Skyrim Let's Roleplay after Oblivion. I think there's just one poll left. Okay, just how important is a thumbnail to grab your attention for a channel you don't know? Do you have to click on videos with catchy or interesting thumbnails? 47 votes. Very important for me, 28%. Not super important. The title and channel name also help a lot, 72%. Alright, and no comments. Add a comment. Well, it's Saturday. Yeah, it's kind of midway through the poll. So, I think that's it. So, if you would like to help out and support Let's Roleplay, you can donate at my Patreon account or become a member of my channel, which also comes with perks. Just click on the join video to watch what I put together and what you as a member would get. Alright, everyone, this has been very tedious and difficult for me to do, and I hope I come across at least mostly coherent. Thanks for watching, and today being Saturday, I think I'll be trying to make videos next week, starting with Oblivion, which I haven't done in a while. Oblivion! Yes. Wow, I don't know if it's gonna be hard on me. I'll miss those 20 to 30 minute videos I used to make. We'll see how it goes.